Okay. Something to consider when you are prompting these models is the length of the context window, right? So some of these context windows for the AIs are very small. Sometimes they're only like 4,000 tokens. Sometimes they're big, 32,000, 100,000, 200,000. So they remember more, right? But the thing about the AIs I've noticed is that even if their context windows are really, really long, you're going to want to reiterate what you're asking for on a fairly regular basis. Okay. So, one of my tip here is regularly summarize the context within your prompts to keep the AI aligned with the narrative. Remember that sometimes the AI forgets things within its context window. It may be there and accessible, but the AI needs to be reminded that that text is important, right? So, if you're in a long conversation with Claude and you mentioned something 10 prompts ago that you still wanted to use, you should probably reintroduce that information back into Claude with your next prompt. Don't forget to remind it. Think of it like your teenager. My teenager, I have to remind her all the time. Please bring in the trash can. Don't forget to bring in the trash can. I have to remind her all the time. So I sort of think of these AIs as a teenager. I have to remind them all the time. Don't expect it to remember things that were way back. You might be able to get it to reference back to that. You can say things like, hey, remember that we were talking about when the protagonist went to the coffee shop and ran into so and so. Let's call back to that and use that in the next prompt. And you don't have to tell it exactly what happened in the coffee shop, but you can point back to it. And that's usually enough to get it to remember and to come forward with the information. So don't forget to do that. Okay. So these remember prompts are going to be really important. Use the prompts that cue the AI to recall previously established facts and plot points. This is most helpful in longer conversations. Okay, guys? That's my huge tip for dealing with larger context windows. Okay, prompt engineering, right? We are all prompt engineers. We're prompting the AI all the time. You may not think of yourself as an engineer, but you kind of are, all right? So one of a few things that you need to be careful of when you're constructing your prompts is to be very precise. So clarity and precision, be as specific as possible in your prompts to guide the AI towards your intended outcome. The more vague that you are, the more erratic results you're going to get. So be specific, right? Tell it that you want 5 Facebook posts about this topic, that you want to concentrate on a certain detail of this topic, and that you want a call to action at the end of those Facebook posts. I mean, be specific about what you want. Okay. That's how you're going to get the kind of output that you can just pick up and use. A lot of the times, as long as I'm specific in my prompting, I'm able to just copy and paste and get on with my day. I don't have to do as many edits. Okay. You can also do an iterative refinement of your process. You can start by having a conversation with the AI. And as you go, you can see, well, like, I like what you did with example A. Let's take example A and let's drill down even farther into that and just iterate on the prompt until you get what you want. Sometimes it takes a little while, especially if you're not completely clear about what you want. You're thinking about it. You're not really sure. Maybe that's a time to have a conversation with the AI, figure out where to go next with it.